Oh, ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube world, what is poppin', lockin', and what is droppin', baby? It has been a little bit of time. Now, I have a little bit of an explanation for everyone here, and a little bit of a story. But I guess before we get into that, hi, Bo. There's a dog here. There's a dog. That's not my dog. Sister's dog. So, before we get into that, though, I did want to go over the weight for at least February. So let's get that knocked out of the way. So I weighed myself yesterday, which was February 28th, but today is March 1st. So today's, well, filming this, the official first day of March. And we have lost a grand total so far of 20.2 pounds. That's right, ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube world. We are sitting at 188.2 pounds. Oh, and I think something I didn't forgot to film was we actually officially hit under 190 as of last week as well. So I'll put those results up there as well as the 3-month catch up for that. So, haha, pretty cool. I'm happy with it. And the journey's been going really good so far, guys. It's been going great. We've been slightly losing weight, but we are getting to the point of maybe even looking into layer 2 fat we'll be removing now. So I want to go over a little bit more about what has happened the past week, and welcome, nobody has been uploaded for the past week. So I have had a roller coaster of an event, or roller coaster of whatever's that previous week, and man, oh my, has it been something. So I was actually supposed to travel to Boston, Massachusetts. Supposed to leave Monday, which I believe is the 23rd of February. So that Sunday came along, and I got notified from Delta that my flight got canceled, which is nice. It's always grand to hear that. The reason why it got canceled is because Boston got 17 inches of snow, or it got a pretty bad blizzard going up there, which is very nice. So, or I should say, I was going to make a really cool video idea of traveling and losing weight. I don't travel often, but when I do, I try to focus on some things. Now, I did make a vlog traveling to Arizona, so if I could figure out how to link that to the video, I can do that, or I can put in the link in the description below. Basically, traveling to Arizona and things that I did, which would lose weight there. So I was going to make that for the second series of the return of the weight loss journey, but unfortunately, I have ran into a very significant issue of Mother Nature giving me some other plans, and they have been hit with a pretty bad blizzard. So they couldn't schedule flights until Wednesday, and then my work was like denied. So, because I think I was supposed to go there for 3 days, but then it would have been 1 day, and it would cost too much, and this and that. So my work was like, no, because my Boston trip was a work trip, by the way. So that's essentially one thing that happened. So another thing, the only workout video I had from not last week, from 2 weeks ago, was the Ascended Heroes opening video. So I did have my leg day video all taken care of, but my push day video was unsuccessful. And what I meant by that, or my push day portion of it, because my someone over Boston, and then push day. So my push day portion of the video. So essentially what happened was I dropped my SD card in the trash can. Some stuff away I had. It's a little micro SD card I had in my hand, and I ended up dropping it into the trash bin by accident, and it got into a giant pool of blueberry cobbler juice. So I had to get a new SD card. And if you guys aren't familiarized with cameras and so forth, SD cards are not very cheap, for what they are at least. So I bought an SD card from Target. Turns out it was the wrong format style. I couldn't change the format, but it was on 32 gigs. So that was, what, 30 minutes of 4K footage? So I had to get one from Amazon that came on Tuesday, the 24th of February. But, so now I got in there. Now I got 260 or 256 gig, and now I got 4 hours of 4K footage. That'll help for longer videos. Maybe something later down the road if I do larger events and so forth. Yes. So that was the second thing that happened. But I didn't get any push day footage, but my leg day, and so I'm kind of blabbing at this point. But we got another significant event happen. So Monday, it was right before I clocked out, my boss called me and told me I was going to Carlisle, Pennsylvania. So I might be mispronouncing that name, but which is 4 hours from Richmond. So I had basically a day to prep and go up to Carlisle, Pennsylvania. But I wasn't going alone. I was going with someone who I've never really talked to, so that was fun. But he was a cool guy. But to save the company money, I had to ride with them and use his own car, and so it was kind of a bit of a hassle. So we traveled Wednesday the 25th, and we were on site the 26th, and then we left again the 27th at 6:30 in the morning. So we made a little bit of a pit stop to the Yingling Museum, which was cool, but I didn't drink any beer because one, I can't drink beer, and two, I want a weight loss and fitness journey. So beer is a big interrupter for that, even the low calorie ones. But now, it's always good to enjoy your beverages when you can, but just when you do, make sure you catch back up on your fitness journey. So, so I didn't get to the hotel till about 5 or 6 or something, but we left around 9 a.m. And so I actually did do a full upper body rotation. So for that, and the hotel gym was a little wonky looking, and it wasn't bad. It had like 2 treadmills, an elliptical, and I think a bench with dumbbells, with the highest weight being 50 pounds. So that was great. And so we had to figure out all that out. Hi, Bo. So I figured I just went ahead and decided to do a full upper body rotation, mainly because I wanted to do push day and the pull day, and then I was going to do leg day on Friday. But I just did a full upper body rotation instead, which if came good at the end. I think all the weight was fine. I usually wanted to go up a little bit more on the dumbbells, but 50 did pretty good justice for me. But again, it was more like a superset rotation kind of thing, so I wasn't really targeting strength building at the time, more of just so trying to get some calories burned. So the other thing that happened that week, so I was going to exercise on Thursday, but we were on site. It was only hours, but it was kind of those. We were on site for 5, and then we went to have lunch, and then we came back to the hotel for an hour or so. But I was catching up on my job on top of traveling, because again, my job doesn't really involve traveling. I just travel more for training. And then we got called back on the site for another couple more hours. Then we would get dinner, and then we came back at 8 p.m. that Thursday, I think Thursday 26th. And then we had to essentially leave at 6:30 in the morning. Why? I don't know. The guy drove, so I figured I have to ride with him. I had really no other choice. So we went to the hotel at 8, and I basically got settled in. I went to sleep and woke up, and then we left. So Friday, came back around 10 or something, and then I chilled at home for a little bit because I was super tired, because on top of all that, I had a 1 a.m. call with a customer. And then later that Friday, we actually did leg day, but I'll get into that leg day here and near towards the end of this video. And then after that was Saturday, and then I came up here, which I'm at Lake Gaston right now. That's where my parents are at. So spent some time with the fam, and then actually yesterday was Sunday. So Sunday I'm gonna head home today to get ready for the next week, which should be fun. So that's essentially all what happened, and one of the big reasons why that has happened. Now also, I lost my lens. I was filming I was gonna actually film a little bit of the travel video when I was at the hotel, but I did my intro, and then my camera fell, and then the lens fell off, and now I lost the lens. So it's my zoomed out lens, so it gets better angles and so forth, so which kind of sucks, but it was only $20, so I can always get a new one, so no biggie. So that's kind of going over for last week, but now I think we'll go over more of the essentials of what I ate and my exercise routines for that. So basically, my meal prep was or what I was supposed to be, because I did last minute grocery shopping because my flight got canceled. So I wasn't planning on going grocery shopping, but alas, I did. And did not get creative for this one. I wanted to be super simple. So basically what I did is I just went on ChatGPT. I was like, hey, give me a meal plan for the week, 2 meals a day with a dessert for 1,800 calories a day, and obviously make it high protein. So essentially this is what I came up with, and I did some rearranging around it. So for lunch, I had chicken with green beans and rice. So canned green beans, French cut style, one of my go-tos. And the chicken, I forget, it's like Nature's Own or whatever healthier Food Lion brand that pre-cooked chicken is. That was for that, and that was, I believe, 8 ounces of chicken, and then a whole can of canned green beans. And then for the rice, I did the little microwavable cup rice-a-ronies. They're like 200 calories for 5 grams of protein. For quick and easy rice accessibility, I think it's probably best for calorie and protein ratio, and for taste as well. But that was essentially my lunch. So I'll go ahead and throw the macros on here because I don't know them on top of my head, unfortunately. but obviously I'll have them over here so you guys can see what they came out to be. Now for dinner, I told me to, oh, there's a turtle. Sorry, I just got distracted. There's a turtle sitting right over there. Oh, swim away. It's right over there somewhere. Swim away. Darn it. Him before I got distracted. So my dinner is consisted of, it wanted me to do a steak with some eggs, a vegetable of choice, and then potatoes. So I dropped the eggs, mainly because I forgot about them. But I got these thinly sliced top round. So I did that. It was pretty good. I liked it. Pretty good. The calorie and protein ratio was pretty good. And some like later on, actually I rolled them up and threw them in the air fryer. And those actually came out really good. But this picture here shows more so it just being pan seared and then cut them into strips. Dogs here, by the way. And then for vegetable choice, I had frozen spinach from 2 weeks ago. So I cooked the bags of frozen spinach. And then potatoes, I did the melody potatoes. So it's like the red, gold, and purple potatoes. So I just threw those in the air fryer and cooked them up as well. So that's pretty much it. They're boring, but simple meals to get you the macros and calories that you need. Now for dessert, it's something I was iffy about doing, but it actually came out better than I thought. And it was a Greek yogurt bowl. So all it really was a cup and a half of Greek yogurt with a scoop of protein powder and a berry of choice. And then I drizzled the honey on top because I think I need a little bit more extra flavoring to it. So I had the Light and Fit coconut yogurts, and then I think I bought a couple of the Boston cream ones as well. So those were pretty good. And then my marshmallow protein powder, which fit really well with the Greek yogurt, and then the berries, of course, were blackberries because I love blackberries. Actually, raspberries are my favorite, but they tend to go bad the fastest, and then blackberries typically don't go as bad that quick. And then blueberries are a hit or miss because fresh blueberries, you can get the container and then you look at them and you're like, oh, they're covered in mold in the places you couldn't see at the grocery store. So I decided to go with blackberries. And both came out really good with the honey on top and everything. It's 100% raw honey. So it gives you a little bit more carbohydrates, and natural honey is also pretty good for you as well. So as I go over everything, I'll also put the macros up here so you guys can compare from dish to macros and so forth. So. And then, of course, I had a couple meals. I'll just throw them on here. While I went out to eat, I basically tried to look for the healthiest things that were on the menu at these places. So these are just a couple examples. I can't really remember off the top of my head. We went to this really nice place. It was like 1746 Whiskey Rebellion or something. I can't remember the year, but that was a nice old-style American-style restaurant. And I had that, probably my favorite salad of all time was the mixed greens with the feta cheese, cranberries, pecans with a nice vinaigrette dressing. So those are my typical go-to. That's my favorite salad of all time. So that was one thing I remember. I couldn't remember the rest. But we went to Sheetz a lot. And so Sheetz actually has some pretty good protein options. So they have these venison sticks that are pretty good. I like getting, they had this jalapeno one. It was 5 grams of protein for 50 calories per serving. Each stick was like 50 grams, but your typical venison sticks are 80 calories with 9 grams of protein per stick. No, but those are just some things. Oh, I had Thai food too. I remember I had red curry with some white rice. But trying to look for your healthiest options at restaurants are always ideal. Just be careful though, because a lot of these restaurants cook with oils that increases your calories. So, and I was using Cal AI's AI app to take pictures, so it's probably forgetting a lot of things. Like the restaurant we went to, I think it was called I forgot the name of the restaurant, but I had scallops, and the scallops literally came in a pool of butter. I was like, oh my God. And then the broccoli, of course, had butter in it too. So it picked up not that many calories from the broccoli, but of course I had to add 100 calories for just a tablespoon of butter being thrown on top of the broccoli. And then for the exercises, like I said before, I did the upper body workout routine, or the superset upper body routine, and then I did a leg day. But I'm trying something new for that, and I'll go into a little bit more details on what that means when we go over March. So, but ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube world, that's essentially what's been going on over there. Now let's talk about February a little bit. Good old February, the shortest month of the year. So the 30-day or 1 month differentials, because there's no such thing as a February 30th, I picked a February 28th to be my deadline. But like I mentioned earlier, we are down to 188.2. we are officially down 6.6 pounds from February 1st to February 28th, which is a grand number. Now, it's a little interesting because you have some weeks where it's less than a pound, and then there's just 4 pounds one week, and then less than a pound, and then this week was 1.8 pounds or something. It was like really close to 2. So a little bit of a interesting change of events, but it's a weird fluctuation, and it really all has to do with the calories that come in, and of course how many you burn when you work out as well. So we have to be a little bit more strict on our calorie goals and so forth, but I'll be going over that into March's journey. So a couple things we changed out for February, not too much. I think the biggest thing was the 2 meals a day versus 3 meals a day. But of course, we have our OMAD on Mondays. I think I'm going to keep OMAD on Mondays just because sometimes my gym routine changes up. So I don't want to add another OMAD day if it's going to be inconsistent. At least I can stay consistent with the 1 meal a day. And it's been working pretty well for me. And I haven't really have any cravings on that day either until maybe the last hour. So it sufficed me pretty well, if I said that word right. I don't know though. But again, we haven't really changed that much in February, so the consistency is pretty good. I think workouts have been pretty much the same. I've been going up a little bit in weight, but that's all going to change when we go into March. So March is going to be the month of workout changes. So like I said earlier in the video, we're getting to the point now where we're going to start to need focus more on our layer 2 fat removal. I think our layer 1 is pretty much gone at this point. It might be a little bit more low on the love handles, but our body fat percentage is going down. Now, I figured this out with scales and calculators and so forth, and it says I'm about 22%. I don't know if it's 100% true, but maybe I want to lean more towards like 24% body fat. I know a lot of the fat on my leg has pretty much disappeared, and then my hands are pretty much gone with the fat. I could tell because my hands are always cold, my feet are always cold. My face has slimmed down a lot. The chest has been popping out more, but it's not like a saggy, it's more like a more physique looking. A little bit of the ab formation as well. So gluteus maximus has been increasing in size too, not in fat, but of course some muscle. So a lot of those changes have been being recognized, and a lot of people that, like my coworkers and friends and family, they're like, man, you've been shredding down a lot and you're making us look fat. So again, it really all depends on how if they're not intentionally losing weight, obviously it's something you don't want to bring up, kind of a touchy subject, but for someone who's trying to lose weight, it's always encouraging to say, hey, well, you're looking pretty good, because it helps people motivate them to lose weight even further if they choose to be it. So, which is really cool. And I think hearing all that positive feedback from others really encourages me to go and stick out to my journey more. But of course, you should be doing a weight loss journey for yourself. So if you're seeing the changes and you're liking it and you want to adapt to it, you want to keep going for it, that's what you need to do. So I guess we're going to cap it off what in March entails for us. So I'm thinking I really want to end the month being 5 pounds lighter. I don't want to do it too low, especially since our goal weight is at 175, and we're approaching that pretty quickly, especially being at 180. So 185, we only have 10 more pounds to lose. Now, when the lighter you get, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to lose your weight, because you're really going to have to start adapting yourself to dramatic changes. And so what do I mean by this? So I've basically gone into a zone I've never been to in my life, except maybe when I was in like high school. And that is getting to our slimming point, and getting to the point where our bodies are going to start fighting back. And how do we evolve around that situation? Well, we're going to have to push ourselves tomorrow. So essentially what we're going to be doing for workouts is we're going to be changing the failure sets. So we're going to be taking away the failure sets, and we're going to be introducing 6 to 8 reps. So 2 to 3 sets of 6 to 8 reps. Essentially, we're going ham. We're talking heavy lifting. Essentially, pretty much strength building at this point. And because of doing that, we're going to have to also look at about changing our diets a bit. So I think we're going to increase our calories up a little bit, because we're going to be pushing ourselves a lot more. And also, I know I've been saying this pretty much every video, but we have to get our cardio in check. But instead of more so training for 10K, which is very slow pace running, like zone 2 style running, I'm thinking we need to go more depth cardio. I'm talking sprints, pushing ourselves on the row, and pushing ourselves on the bike. So we're definitely going to have to start increasing our cardio in the gym as well. So sprints on the treadmill suck. So I'm thinking for that, I have a pretty good idea what I want to do. But also, what's really beneficial is daylight savings is actually coming up. I believe next Sunday is daylight savings. So, which means it doesn't get dark out at 5 p.m. It'll get dark out at 8. So, which means we have a lot more sun time out. So I can actually go and do what I need to do. And sprints being one of them. So, which is very fantastic. But I think that's going to be our biggest change in our workout routine and maybe even increase our calories because I've been looking around 17 to 1800 calories a day, and I think we're bumping it back up to 2000, 2100. Especially if we're going to be pushing ourselves and focusing more on strength building and even muscle gaining. But keeping our cardio up, of course, because we're in endurance and stamina and so forth. But we also have that 10K coming up, so we can't forget about that. And I have been lackluster and crazy for that training. So we definitely need to step our game up for that. But that's kind of our goal, what we need to look forward to for that. But I think we've been doing pretty good so far. But I think when March comes up, I want to be 5 pounds lighter. Whether that's in fat or water weight or whatever, I do feel like we're going to be gaining a little bit of weight as well, just because of muscle building. But gaining muscle is not that dramatic versus fat loss. So, especially with the weight, because gaining a couple pounds of muscle is pretty dramatic versus losing a couple pounds of fat. So hopefully we can stick with being in the 180s and possibly even trying to get into the 170s. I have no hopes of being in the 170s by April, especially with the routine that we're going to be doing. So I'm hoping to be 184, maybe 183 by the end of March because, again, weight loss isn't so much of our focus here because we're getting to the point where we're going to have to start shredding our fat off. And to do that, we just got to push ourselves. So I'm also going to be experiencing a little bit more on this, again, mainly because I have never really been to this point in any of my weight loss journeys I've ever been on. So this is going to be a huge learning experience for me. So we're going to be taking a lot of this into consideration when we move forward. But ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube world, thank you so much for taking your time to check out my update for February and what comes for March. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share, especially with the ones who are interested in their weight loss and fitness journeys. Let's all help each other out. Let's keep all of each other motivated to accomplish our goals that we want to try to accomplish, baby. Comment anything positive or negative. We're on the internet. We gotta learn to take it. I'm not claiming to be a fitness or gym expert. I'm just learning. I'm putting myself on the internet to show that if I could do it, pretty much anyone could do it. But that's a lot of it has to come for self-research as well as reaching out to the actual experts for help. But ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube world, thank you so much for tuning in. Stay disciplined, stay focused, and I'll catch you guys on whatever I upload next. Peace.